Imagine you're only 19 years old, and out of nowhere, you find yourself engaged to the heir to the British throne, under the expectant gaze of millions of people. This happened to Diana Spencer, a shy, reserved girl from an aristocratic family, but who never imagined the fate that awaited her. The news caused a media revolution, with every newspaper covering the story and every camera trying to capture a moment of this young woman's life. For Diana, it must have felt like being under a constant spotlight. A role she never asked for but had to play as best as she could. Lady Diana was born on July 1, 1961, in Sandringham, England, into a noble lineage, the Spencers. But don't be mistaken, her life wasn't entirely perfect. Her parents divorced when she was only 8 years old, and this event marked her childhood. Her mother left, and she stayed with her father. Diana, like many children, sought a figure of love and stability, something that seems to have greatly influenced her view of love later in life. It's well known that the experiences we go through in childhood have a profound impact on how we perceive relationships later in life. For Diana, this desire for stability and affection likely formed the foundation of her future aspirations, both in her marriage and her relationship with her children. She didn't just want love, she wanted a home free from pain and abandonment, something she unfortunately didn't always achieve. But let's fast forward a bit in her life, because the story truly picks up speed when she meets Prince Charles, heir to the throne of England. The relationship was quick, almost like a fairy tale, right? A wedding fit for a princess, with an iconic dress and the whole world watching. They married in 1981 in what many called the wedding of the century. But if we think about it for a moment, was it really a fairy tale? Sometimes, what seems like a fairy tale on the surface hides a much more complex and painful reality. In Diana's case, the pressure of being such an iconic public figure, combined with the unrealistic expectations of a perfect marriage, quickly turned that dream into a nightmare. How many times, in real life, does what is seen from the outside not reflect what is happening in the hearts of those living it? Well, not everything was as it seemed. Even though Diana had become a princess in the eyes of the world, her personal life was in chaos. Charles was still in love with another woman, Camilla Parker Bowles, something Diana would discover shortly after the wedding. Imagine that, being at the center of the world's attention, yet feeling completely alone. This took a severe toll on her mental health. Diana privately battled bulimia, a disorder she would later speak about publicly, making her even more relatable to the people. At a time when mental health was considered taboo, Diana broke the silence by openly discussing her inner struggles. By sharing her story, she not only humanized her image but also inspired thousands of people to seek help and support. Once again, Diana connected with the public, not from a place of perfection, but through her vulnerability. But if there's one thing that stood out about Lady Di, it was her ability to connect with the people. Despite all her personal suffering, she fully dedicated herself to humanitarian causes. And not just with a smile for the camera, she was truly involved. Did you know that she was one of the first public figures to shake hands with an AIDS patient during the height of the epidemic, when the entire world was afraid to touch someone infected? That gesture broke barriers, not only for those affected by the disease but also for those who saw her as a distant princess. That simple act wasn't just revolutionary, it changed millions of people's perceptions about AIDS worldwide. Diana used her influence to break stigmas, defying the social norms of the time and proving that compassion and humanity know no bounds. Her fight for the rights of the marginalized became one of her most powerful legacies. But Diana wasn't just a compassionate figure, she was also a rebel within the monarchy. While the royal family had strict rules, she broke many of them. For example, she was the first princess to insist on being a very present mother. She took her children, William and Harry, to school, hugged them in public. Something uncommon among royal family members. She didn't just want to be seen as the perfect princess, she wanted to be a mother, she wanted to be human. This close and affectionate approach forever changed the way the royal family interacted with the public. Diana didn't just want to be an icon, she wanted her children to grow up with the love and support she had always longed for. It was this unconditional love and devotion toward William and Harry that made many Britons see her not just as their princess, but as the people's mother. As her popularity grew, so did the tension within the royal marriage. Diana and Charles eventually separated in 1992, and in 1996, they officially divorced. From that point on, Lady Di was no longer a princess of the royal family, but she never stopped being the people's princess. And if one thing became clear after her divorce, it was that she didn't need a title to continue being loved. Far from disappearing from the public eye, Diana reinvented herself as an independent figure. She showed the world that her worth was not defined by her relationship with royalty but by her own character and the impact she continued to have on the causes she championed. Diana, without a royal title, remained an unstoppable force. With her new role as a common citizen, Diana became even more active in humanitarian causes. She traveled to minefields in Angola on a mission that quite literally risked her life. She didn't just walk among landmines, she did it in front of the world's cameras, putting herself in danger to highlight the importance of clearing those areas. That kind of bravery is something most of us can only admire from afar. The impact of her work in Angola wasn't just symbolic. Diana helped push forward the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, an international agreement to ban the use of anti-personnel mines. Her courage and dedication not only saved lives in that moment but also left a legacy of hope for future generations. And this is where Diana's story takes a tragic turn. On August 31, 1997, in Paris, the world woke up to the news that the people's princess had died in a car accident. The car she was traveling in, along with her partner, Dodi Al-Fayed, and the driver, crashed while trying to escape the paparazzi. The news shocked the entire world. It is said that Diana's death is one of those moments where everyone remembers exactly where they were when they heard it. The world stood still that day. Thousands of people took to the streets to pay tribute, laying flowers and messages at Kensington Palace. It was clear that Diana was not just a public figure, she was a part of the lives of millions. Her death left an indelible mark, and her absence was felt in every corner of the world. Millions of people attended her funeral, mourning the loss of someone who, despite living surrounded by luxury, had deeply connected with ordinary people. The Queen, who had kept her distance, finally understood the profound impact Diana had on the British people. Her death left a void, not only in the royal family but in the hearts of millions. Diana had been a complex figure, full of contradictions, but that's what made her so human and, ultimately, so beloved. Her legacy lives on, not just in her sons, who continue her work, but in every person who ever felt her compassion and empathy. Diana is not the princess, she is the queen of the people. I just started making videos like this, so if you enjoyed it, please Please give me a like and subscribe to bring you more amazing stories. Thanks for staying until the end. See you soon.